Hello, can you guys hear me? Hey guys, so am I audible, right? I just want to check something. So I have ordered a pen tab, but that will arrive by tomorrow. Okay, it will not arrive today. So today I again have to teach with that damaged pen tablet. But just let me know if you guys can see this whiteboard, so that if I want to teach on this, so you will be able to see that. Can anyone just
Yes,
confirm
sir.
if they are able to see it or not?
Yes, sir.
If I write anything, uh, let me just screen myself. I can understand what I'm teaching.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, are you also able to see it, like understanding what's written?
Yes, sir, it is.
Everything is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
We will use this one.
Thank you, sir.
Because I understand that people are from non-IT backgrounds also, so they might be having some issues yesterday with yesterday's class. Because without diagram, it will be very difficult to teach a linked list, and my tablet was not working properly, so there might be some issues with that. So that's why I just thought of doing this. So it will help you. Because I know mostly students understood what we taught yesterday, but I just like don't want ki anything with anything should should feel ki it was a tough class or linked list is a tough topic. It's not of my league. That's why I just want to clear the basics again. Yeah, so I'll just there is no issues at all. So guys, anyone want to give the feedback for yesterday's class? Anyone what went good, what went bad, anything? Anyone wants to speak up? So those who don't want to speak, they can mute themselves. They don't need to unnecessarily open their mic. Yeah, anyone wants to share the feedback for yesterday's class?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Who wants to speak? Akshay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Akshay, go on.
So actually, I just went through the recording now because I guess I didn't see the notification yesterday. It was a bit late. So I think the explanation was really good. And like you mentioned, I guess since I'm from a non-IT background, I think a little more background on as to why it was big of an order. That was important for me, but you explained that very well. So I think that is really strong.
Thank you. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. Anyone else? No one else? Thank you, Jyoti. Motivate कर दो थोड़ा, कोई कह रहा है someone saying motivate कर थोड़ा. Nice one second, let me see what all things are there which I can use. Nothing is there. Okay, so motivate to do it, like there's nothing like to motivate here. It's just that if you want money, if you want ease, you have to work hard. That's it. Right now, everything is on boom. You don't know for how long it will be like this, but right now it's like that. So you have to utilize the time. You have to work very hard. You should be able to like get a job quickly in within 6 months, or at least in at most in 1 year, not more than that. So because after 1 or 2 years, it will be difficult to get jobs again, because hiring are getting freeze in big companies. Amazon CEO yesterday told me they won't be hiring with the same speed as they were hiring till 2 years, since 2 years. Yeah, hiring will be stopped after 1 or 2 years. So you'll have to, if you want to get a job, a good job. By good job, I mean if you want to get a job which pays you around 70,000, 80,000, 1 lakhs, 2 lakhs, depending on your knowledge, you are in the right way. You are in the right platform. You are in the right direction. You just have to be in that direction. That's all you want to do right now. That's it. You just have to follow the guidelines which has been told by your instructor. You have to follow. You have to read by yourself. Self study is very important. Just not it should be only dependent on classes. No, you have to study from yourself. You have to make a lead code account. Lead code account for everyone is must. So those who are not having lead code account, please do it right now or after the class, and just solve 1 or 2 questions daily. Okay, in your free time, you solve 1 or 2 questions daily. That's really needed, and that's all, I guess, that will help you. And you are already in a surroundings where you don't need to do anything. You just need to work in a direction where you are going. You don't have to do any extra efforts. So you should be thankful to you're already somewhere where you just need to follow the path which has been shown to you. Nothing else you have to do. Okay, so it's very easy for you right now. For us, it was very difficult. We did not have any such classes, ACO job, Newton school. We had to research the things. We had to find out what is the best topics to learn, what all are the questions, how to solve questions, how to solve tough questions. I have even given 1 or 2 days in single questions, thinking about the question how to do it, because I could not find a solution anywhere on the internet. But you have instructors, you have DSA mentorship sessions. There you can get your doubts cleared easily, right? So if, let's say some question is very tough, you're not able to understand, but you can go and just see that. If you guys are want to get a good job, it's you can just thank to God you are in the right platform. You just have to work in that direction, and everyone who are following the classes, who are following what has been told to them, will get a job. That's my guarantee, because it's very easy to get a job right now. People who are not able to solve questions on interviews, they are getting into good companies. They are getting 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs package. Who are not able to solve questions, so you can understand if people who can solve good questions, how they will be getting. So it's like that. 1 second. नो व्हाइट बोर्ड पे पढ़ाने का कोई इरादा नहीं है, बट मेरा पेन टैबलेट काम नहीं कर रहा है. Yesterday it was also not working, and so today also it is not working. I have ordered one. It will come in 2 or 3 days. So next time when we'll meet, I'll use my tab. But today I'll have to do on this one. I'm really sorry for those things. So yeah, I know it will be some issues, but you guys can tell me if you're not able to see. You guys can tell me. I'll just try to understand that. I'll try to write big. Yeah. Na, 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 na. तेरे यादों की ना ना ना. So why do you want me to tell you where I code, what framework I use? Do you want to take my interview, SK? Umair also. Good question means a good question like lead code difficult, lead code hard question. That's what good for me. If I use headphone, I won't be able to write there. That's the issue. Okay, let's start. Okay. Okay, guys. So first of all, let me know what all things are clear from yesterday's class. What all things are clear, and you guys feel these things are clear and you understand those things. Do you know what is linked list? All of you. Okay, so I'll tell a structure of a linked list, and if anyone have doubt, I'll ask the question after it. Okay, so just for 5 minutes, just focus here. After it, I'll ask again. If you have any doubt in this, you can tell me. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So my voice may not come quickly, so I'll just try to speak up. Okay, so let's say we are critical linked list of 3 nodes. Okay, so as we all know, our first node will contain the address of second node will contain the address of third node, and the third node, which is the last node, will contain null, right? So I'll show you. So our linked list is created like this. It has 2 parts, right? First part will be the data part, and second part will be a next part, right? So this next part, what does it contain? It contains the address of next node, right? Everyone is clear with this? Yeah. So let's say if I want to make 3 nodes, let's say I want to make first node which has 10 value, right? And it will be stored at some address, right? Let's say it is stored at 100 address. The address where this node is stored is 100. Okay, so you have to remember this. Now let's say we have another node. Okay, so this is your second node, right? It is having value as 5, and it is having what? Address is 50, right? So what should be here? This is your first node, this is your second node. So this first node should tell you where the second node is stored. So second node is stored at 50 location, right? So we have to store 50 here, right? So using this location, we can get to second node. Any doubt in this? So if we know the address of this node, we can get to this node, right? Using this node, we can move to this node because the address of second node is stored inside our next pointer of first node. So we just need the address of this node. So this head will point this. So indirectly, what does that mean? Head will contain 100, okay? Because the address of first node is 100. So head will contain 100, okay? Yeah. So now we know we just need this head. So head will tell us which is the first node, where the first node is stored. Using first node, we can get to second node. Using second node, right now it is null, right? That means this is the last node. But if it is not null, let's say if it is not null, let's say it is 150. What does that mean? That means this is the address of third node. So let's say this is our third node. Yeah. Clear? Any doubt in this? So now anyone have any doubt in linked list? How it is stored and everything? Cool. So we'll move forward. Okay, we'll move forward. Now I'll erase it. So now you guys know what is linked list in complete way, right? Now, now I'll just show quickly how it is stored in memory, right? I'll just show very quickly. I'll show. Okay. So let's say so let's say this is your computer memory. Okay, computer memory. I mean, you know, like when you purchase a SIM card. So let's say you have a 10 MB SIM card, which can store 10 MB. So it will be like this. Okay, it will be like this. So I don't want to go into very basics. So you might be thinking, let's say we type A. So how it will be stored inside your computer memory? It won't be stored like A, right? It won't be stored like this. It will be converted into what? A byte code, right? And then a machine code. So it will be in binary format, right? So in binary format, it will be stored. So A will be stored like 0, 1, 1 like that. Okay, that's 0, 1, 0, 1. Yeah. Good. Giriraj. Yeah. Who was that? Good. Okay. So it won't be stored like that. So we don't want to go there in deep how it will be stored in that. That is not this class is all about. So we can assume we know that thing. Okay. So now these all are individual cells, right? Individual cells of your 10 MB memory. So we have around, let's say this space is for there can be so many like cells, right? So each cell will have a unique address. Okay. Each cell will have a unique address. So let's say the address of this one is 100. Okay, so this will be 101, 102, 103, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this will be 108, 109, 110. Like this, it will go 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, like this, it will go on. Okay, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Any doubt in this? Cell, each cell will have a unique address. Okay, this is what computer memory is all about. No, I'll just quickly complete it. Okay. So let's assume I have skipped some numbers. So I can assume the numbers. Okay. Yeah. It will be in continuous way. Address will always be in continuous. So we know if we are storing an array of 5 elements, if first element is stored here, second element will be stored here, then here, then here, and there, right? So we need a 5 continuous space to store an array. Everyone is clear with that, right? No one had doubt, right? Good. But if we want to store a linked list, let's say we know we actually created one node. Okay, our first node, our linked list. So it can be stored randomly anywhere. It will search for a free space. It will search for a free cell. It will not search for a free line or free. Let's say if we are storing an array, it will search for what? A free length of the size of the array, right? Let's say if we want to create an array of 10 length, it will search for a length of 10 free spaces. Then only it will be able to create an array. Otherwise, it will not create an array, right? But for linked list, it will just search for one cell, a random cell, wherever it will get it, it will just create it. Let's say we get a linked list with 5 value. So it will store here 5, right? Clear? It will not store, it will just not store here 5. So location here is 118. So at 18, it will store actually a node, okay, which will have the value as 5. Okay, the value of this is 5, and this will store null right now. It is null, right? You can assume it is null. But as soon as we create the second linked list and we link the first node and second node, it will store the address of second node, right? So let's say we create another node. So it will randomly find a space. Let's say it's created here at top. It contains value as 10. So now what do you think, what this when we are linking them, this is your first node, this is your second node, what will the address part of your first node contains? 104. Yes, Vibhuti, good. So it will contain 104, right? Similarly, we can create third node anywhere. Your computer memory will create randomly, okay? And the address of third node will be stored here, okay? Clear? Any doubt up to here? Yeah, I'll try to write a bigger. I'm so sorry because space are less, so that's why. Okay, up to here it is clear. Now I'm just telling very basic concepts. Okay, now this is clear. This is what I wanted to for non-IT students so that they can understand. Now let's make some questions on. Let's solve some questions and understand and do some brainstorming. Okay. Yeah. So we don't need this now. Everyone is clear with this. How we are stored in memory, right? Now. Okay. So what was the question we solved yesterday? First of all, we solved creating a node, right? Creating a node. And then we solved inserting a node, right? Yeah. So everyone was clear that how did we insert? And anyone have any doubt? How we were inserting the node? If anyone will say to repeat, I'll repeat it. If a single person will say, I'll repeat it. Because I know yesterday it was not a very comfortable environment for you guys to learn. Okay, repeat. You guys want me to repeat? Okay, I'll repeat it. No worries. Don't worry. You don't have to write again. I'll repeat it. Okay. So we will create a function. Okay, we will create a function, an automatic function. Or first of all, let me tell you. Let me ask you. When we created a manual thing, we created one node and then again a second node and then again a third node, and we linked them one by one manually, not making an insert. I'm not talking about insert function. When we did it in the main function, so that part you guys understood, or that part also you have doubt? Doubt hai, okay, cool hai. Cool hai. So first of all, I will manually do what I'm doing and then I'll code it. Okay, then I'll code that part. So what I am planning to do right now in next 5 minutes is I will create 3 nodes, one node, second node, and third node. Okay. So this node will contain 10, this node will contain 5, this node will contain 9. Okay. I will create these three nodes. I will name this node as first node, second node, and third node. Okay. I will give a name to all these 3 nodes. Okay. And then what I will do, I will store the address of second node in first node. So address, so whatever is the address, let's say it is 500. So I will store 500 here. We don't know what it is, right? Whatever it is, we'll just store here. We'll store the address, let's say it is 1000 in second node, and this last node we'll store null. And we'll make one pointer head. That will store the address of first node. It will store 500. Sorry, let's say the address 100 is the address, so it will store 100. Okay. Okay, so this is what we are going to do in next 5 minutes. Okay. Clear? Everyone clear with the objective, what we're going to do? Cool. So I'll show you what we can do here. I'll just, should I code it here or should I code it here? Board. PC on board. Okay, first I'll do the dry run, then I'll code in the laptop. Okay. Now we want to make this structure, right? This is not an integer, right? If you want to store an integer in a variable, how would we do? We just do like this now. Int a is equal to 5, right? It will store 5 in a, right? But here we want to make two things. We want to store two things inside a variable, right? But integer can't do that. Integer can only store one integer. Okay, if it is an integer type, it can store one integer. If it is a char type, let's say char, it can store one character, right? If it is a string, it can store a string. If we want to store a node inside a variable, we have to create our own data type for that. Okay, we can't use primitive data types which are already there in Java. So what all are the primitive data types which are there in Java? Integer, character, boolean. Okay, so these all are primitive data types which we can use. But here to store this, we have to make our own data type. Clear, guys? That will be a non-primitive. Now let's make our own data type which is non-primitive. Okay. Now, for that thing, we'll have to make one class. Okay, I'll just delete the class here. So this structure, I will make a data type which can store this structure. Okay. How I will do like this. It's a very easy thing in Java. Class. So here I'm giving name of the data type as node. Okay. I'm not giving anything else. Okay. Yeah, 100 is the address of first node. So the name of our data type is node. And what thing we want in our data type, which it can store our data and an address, right? So this data will be what? It will be what? It will be an integer, right? Clear? This part will be an integer. It will always store an integer value, right? So it will our node data type will have two values. The first values will be a data which is an integer. So we can write here int data. Clear? This part is clear? Cool. What will the second part? It is not an integer. Don't think it's an integer. Okay, it can be anything. Your address can be in like string format. It can be like 100 UA. It can be any format. It will need not to be an integer. Okay, your address can be of any type. Cool. So, but we know this will always be the address of next node, right? It will always be the address of next node. This is clear? Yeah. So if we want to store the address of next node, so it will be of node type only. Clear? So we'll just write here node. These are some meaningful names which we are giving. Next means we know it will store the address of next node. That's why we are giving it as next. Okay, we can give any name what we want. We can also give this name as data and anything. We can keep it as value. If you want, we can write here a value or anything. It's up to us. But we are trying to give some meaningful name so that it can make some sense. By reading the variable name, you should understand what it is doing. Okay, clear? No, node is not a keyword. We can write anything here. We can write here structure, node, linked list node, anything name, any name we can give here. It's not like we have to just give node. Okay. Any other doubt? Cool. Now we want to give some default value. So whenever you want to create it, how you write? You write like this, right? Int a is equal to 5. But when you will create this node now, you have to tell like what is the structure and what are the values which we are passing. So we have to define a constructor here. So we'll define a constructor. So constructor will always be of node type. So we know whenever we are creating a node structure, whenever we are creating a new node, we will always give this data part. This data part will give, but this next part will be a null, right? Till we initialize it, it will be a null. We know this, right? Whenever we will be creating a new node, we will give the data thing, this 10 we will give, but this address will not, we will not know the address, right, of the next node. So for now, we'll keep it as null till we assign the address of next node to the next part of the first node, right? Yeah, good. Node is a difference. Of course, node will store the reference of that node. In Java, everything is all about reference only. There is no variable things. It's a reference. So let's say this value is there now. Okay, you were asking this question at the wrong time. Otherwise, I would have shown you when I created that matrix. Now in that matrix, I would have shown you that will just store the reference where that node is actually stored. Okay. Should I move forward? Cool. So now we know we have to initialize a constructor which will ask for the value of these two types, data type also and next type also. But we know this next type will always be null, but this data part we have to pass in the constructor. So we'll just pass here int value. Okay, this will be the value of your data which will go inside data. So we'll just do data is equal to val, and we'll do next. So what will be next by default? We know now what it will be. Anyone? It will be null. Good. It will be null. So we have made our structure. Okay. This structure will help us to create one node. Okay. Any doubt here, guys? Why node? You are asking me why node, this node. So your constructor will always have the same node as the node class name. Okay. If we give here linked list node, it will have to write a linked list node. Okay, guys. Got it. Good. This is not we are creating this structure. We have to create this structure. If you're doing something in linked list, you have to create it by yourself. No one will create it for you. So in some interview, they will ask you to create a structure also. In some interview, they will tell you, you can assume there is a structure. You don't have to worry about this. Okay. No, we don't need public here, because we will be coding in the same class. We are not going in the same package. We are not going in outside the package. So don't worry about that. Line 3 again, this line. So this is just a variable which we are doing. It will store the next node address. That's it. This dot data, someone is asking this dot data. So if we keep here value, we can do like this, data is equal to value. But if we keep here as, just give me one thing. But let's say if we keep here as a data, then we have to write this before here. Okay. Okay, but if we are giving a different name than data, then we don't need to write this. Okay, guys, clear? Clear, everyone? Should we move forward? Cool. Now we want to make these three nodes manually. Okay, so I'll just remove this. Okay. So we know already we have a main class, right? Okay, this is a main class. Inside our main class, what we have? Anyone? We have a main function, right? Public static void main string arguments like that. And we have a main function, right? This is our main function. Okay, in our main function, we know we have to initialize this head, right? Because head will point to first node. So initially your head will be of node type, right? Because it will store the address of node. So it will be of node type. Node head is equal to null. In Java, we initialize it with small null. Null is right, small letter, okay, not big letter. So this is what initially it is. So your head will tell you where is your first node, and your first node will tell you where is your second node. Your second node will tell you where is your third node. If it is there, if it is not there, your second node will store null. Okay, cool. सो ये डेटा टाइप हमने बनाया है और इसको ही हम यूज कर रहे हैं, तो हमको जो डेटा टाइप जिस नाम से बनाया है वही तो यूज करेंगे, कुछ और नहीं यूज कर सकते हैं ना। इफ वी आर क्रिएटिंग आवर डेटा टाइप विद नोड नेम, वी हैव टू यूज नोड ओनली, अदरवाइज आप किसी और नाम से बना लीजिए, ठीक है। वरना फायदा क्या बनाने का, आप यूज कैसे करोगे उसको, उसी नाम से तो यूज करोगे। आप अगर इंट यूज करना चाह रहे तो आप इंट ही तो लिखोगे, कुछ और नहीं लिख सकते ना। दैट्स व्हाई वी आर हैविंग द सेम नेम फॉर डेटा टाइप। ओके, cool. Head will store the location of first node. It will tell you where your linked list is starting. Okay, if your head is null, that means your linked list is empty, you don't have any node in your linked list, that's why it is null. So initially your head will be null. Okay, clear? No, it will not be null. It will not be always null. It will just be null in the beginning when you have not created any node. When you will create your first node, you will assign the address of that node to head. Okay, yeah, we can give any net to class. Okay, let's create our first node. How can we create? Anyone wants to tell me how we can create first node? Good. Okay, I'll tell you. So many are writing, everyone. Cool. I'm just seeing the names of the people who are actually writing the right. Okay, I'll just write it. Okay, so what we can do here, it's a very easy format. Whenever you want to use any structure, what you have to do, this is a class, right? You have to make an object of this, then only you can use it, right? Clear? And how do we make an object of a class? What is the format to make an object of a class? I'll tell you the format. Okay, the format to make an object of the class is class name, then object name is equal to new, this new keyword. This new keyword is important, this will be fixed. These names can be changed, but this new will be fixed. Is equal to new class name, and then we can pass the value whatever has been passed in the instructor. So here in the constructor, in the constructor we are having one value, so we'll have to pass one value always. Whenever we are creating the object of this class, we'll have to pass one value, because the constructor of this class is taking one value. So whenever we write this line now, it will directly call this line. This line will be like, what we can say, the constructor is normally used to initialize the values of an object. Okay, so it will automatically call to initialize the values. So what values it will initialize? Whatever values will pass here now, it will go directly here and it will be initialized to the data part, and your next pointer will be initialized with null. So with this line, all of this will happen. So what is our class name? Node, right? So I will write node. Object name can be anything. So we are creating our first node, so we can keep it as first node. Okay, we can keep anything, or first node will be a better thing. So just that node 1 we can keep, so it will be easy for you. Okay, node 1. Can you, is it visible or should I write bigger? Bigger, okay. Okay. This is the name which we are giving to our first node, right? Is equal to, new will be same, and then again class name. So it is again node, right? And what value will be, it will be stored in the first node? It will be 10, right? 10 will be stored. So we'll have to pass 10. And then we have to add a semicolon. Okay. This is what we have done right now. Okay. Clear? We have created one node. Clear, guys? Now, this is your first node. So your head should point to first node, isn't it? So what we can do here? We can just write one line. Head is equal to node 1. So this will make what? In head, it will store 100 now. Okay. Let's say the address of one node 1 is 100. Then your head will, this line will store the address of node 1 in your head. Okay, guys. Okay, now what we got to do? We got to just write here. That's it. Now we have to create second node and third node. Okay. Now let's get second node. What is the value which we are passing here in the second node? It's 5. Okay. Now what we have to do? So first node, the first node next pointer will point to second node, right? Which we have created. So what is first node? Node 1, right? So node 1 dot next will be equal to second node. Node 1 dot next will be equal to what? Will be equal to second node, node 2. Okay, this is node 2 which we have created. That will be stored inside node 2. Okay, this is underscore. So now we are storing the address of node 2, which is 500, inside the next pointer of node 1. So this line will do what? This line will store this address here. Okay. Anyone have any doubt up to here? Move forward. Okay, let's say. Now only thing is remaining, we have to make one more node. Okay. And right now, when we are creating this line, what do you understand by this? Up to here, what we have done this one thing. We have created one node with value 5. Okay. It can have some address, let's say address 1. Okay, we can keep it as address 1. Address 1. Then we have created one more node with value, first node was value 10. Here the value is 10 and here the value is 5, right? This is our second node. Let's say the address is 2. Okay. And we have one head here, which is having what? This head will store address 1, right? Address 1, and node 1 next pointer will store address 2. And can anyone tell me what will the node 2 address next part will store? Null. Good. It will store null. So you know now. Anyone have any doubt why it is null now? Cool. Now we have to make the third node. So what we are doing, we are just writing the same thing. Node 3 is equal to new node with value what? Value 9. Okay, 9. That's it. And then we have to link. So now, right now we have created one more node. Node 3 with value 9. Here again null. Let's say the address is address 3. This is what we have done, right? But we have not linked this node and this node. We have to link this node, right? So address of third node should be inside the next pointer of second node. So we can write here. Clear? This will do what? It is not visible. Okay, sorry. So what we have done, we have just wrote one line which will actually store the address of third node in the second node. So it will do what? It will store this address 3 inside your null. So this null we can remove now. We can store here address 3. Clear? Cool. So now I think you guys know how we are creating a node, right? So can you guys do one thing, a small quick assignment for you, a very easy thing. You just have to create 5 nodes. Okay. And you have to link all the 5 nodes to one another, and you have to print the 5th node value using the head. Okay. So I'll tell you how we can use head to print the values. Let's say your head is pointing here, right? Let's say you want to print the value of this. How many ways are there to print the value of this? Value means data part of this third node. How many ways are there to print the data part of this third node? Two ways. Okay. So can we erase the upper at this class, node class? Can we erase this one? This node class, can we erase? Okay. I forgot that I can't do undo here. Okay, leave it. I didn't want to remove that, but I just by mistake I removed it. But I cannot do undo now. Okay, so now what I was doing? I forgot actually what I was going to tell you. So we have done these things. Now we have to create. We have to show how we can use head to print the values of further nodes. Okay, so let's say we have. Let's come here only. Okay, so let's say our head is what, address 1, right? So let's say we want to print the value of this third node. So the name of this third node is node 3, right? So we can do SOP node 3 dot data, right? This line will print what? It will print 9, right? Anyone have any doubt why it will print 9? No doubt, right? No one has any doubt why it will print 9. Okay, but let's say we don't know the name of this third node. We don't know the name. Okay, normally we only have the name of this first node, which is head. We don't have the name of any other node. Then how do we print? We can use a loop. Very good. Someone told that we can use a loop. Shekhar told, Shikhari, I don't know. Yeah, good. Also, Suman is saying we can use head dot next. Yeah, right. We can use that thing also. Okay. We can use head dot next also, or we can use loop also. Okay, both things can be done. So right now we have only 3 nodes. So we can use head dot next. If we have 100 node and we have to print the 100 node, we can't use just head dot next 100 times. We have to use a loop. Okay. Now, our head is here. Our head is pointing where? First node. So if we write head dot data, what it will print? It will print 10, right? Because head is pointing to address 1. So address 1 ka data is 10. Right? This translates to what? This translates to address 1. Clear? So address 1 ka data is 10. But let's say we write head dot next dot data. So what does this translate to? No. Address of node 1, second node. I just want the value of this. What head dot next means? What is it? What is the value of this? Good. Someone told 82. Who told that? Prahlad. Good. Prahlad. So here that means address 2. So address 2 ka data is what? 5, right? So it will print 5. Okay, so this value will print 5. Clear? Now similarly, if we do it for the third one, it will print it out. So this head dot next is what? Head means head translates to EDD1, right? So head dot next will translate to EDD2, and head dot next is EDD2 connects which is EDD3, which is stored here. So head dot next will be EDD3. All of you know, no? Good. So EDD3 ka data is 9. Okay. Is it clear up to here? Any doubt here? Cool. But let's assume this one. Okay, but let's say we have around 10 nodes or 100 nodes. Okay, so our first node is like this. Okay, then second node. So it is having the address of second node. Second node is having the address of third node. Okay, like this we have 100 nodes. Okay, and last node will have null, right? Clear? Last node will have null, and this head will contain the address of first node, right? This is clear. Structure is clear. Now, let's say we want to print the 99th node. Print 99 node. Okay. How can we print the 99th node? Should we use head dot next 99 times? No, right? Right, good. So what should we do? What is the better way to do this? We can use a loop, right? And let's say we are using a loop. So we have to move this forward, right? Head is pointing here, our head will point here, then here, then similarly we'll move head 99 times forward, right? So it will, after 99 times, let's say we're running a loop for I is equal to 0, I less than 99, I plus plus, right? And each time what we are doing? We are doing head is equal to head dot next. And then we are writing SOP head dot data. Will this work? Yes, good. This will work, right? What this will do? So 99 times it will run for loop, and each time what it is doing? So let's say here it was address 1, then address 2, then address 3. Similarly, this is address, this 99 node is having address 99. This is address 100. We are assuming, okay, this is all the address we are assuming. So it will store the address of 2. This will store the address of 3. Okay. Similarly, this will store the address of 4. Okay. This is what it is now. This will store the address of 100. This is clear now, guys, everyone? Yeah. Now, what we did initially, head was equal to what? Initially, can you see now? Initially, head was equal to address 1. This is clear, right? Because head was pointing to first node, which is having address 1, right? Now, when I is 0, head is pointing to address 1. So now loop will come inside it, and now head will be equal to head dot next. So now head will point to head dot next. So what is head dot next? What is the value of head dot next? So address 1 connects is address 2. So it is pointing to address 2, right? Now this means our head will contain now address 2. Clear? Now our head is containing address 2. Okay. So now our head is pointing to this second node. It is not pointing here, it is pointing here. Right? Similarly, I will become 1, now I will become 1, then it will become 2, it will keep on moving. So 99 times it will move forward, right? So after 99 times, when this loop will end, your head will point here, right? Clear? Then if we do the head dot data, it will print whatever is the value here. Let's say the value here is 500. It will print 500, right? Clear, everyone? But whatever we did, it will work fine. But we are doing one mistake here. Can anyone tell me? It's not about 0 and 99 or one more element it will print, or it will print the 98th element, or it will print the 100th element. Yeah, someone told head. Who told that? Papur, okay. Yeah, we are losing our head. Head should always point to first node, because after this we don't know the address of first node, right? We have lost the address of first node. We cannot come back to this node. We have lost all the 98 nodes. We cannot come back, right? Because we don't have the address of previous nodes. We only have the address of forwarding nodes, right? We don't have the address of previous nodes. It's a single, like, no. So now we have lost the address. So we don't want it to change our head from here. We wanted to keep it to the first node only. Then what? How we can do it? Is there any other way? If we can print 99th element also without losing the head? Yes, there is a way. Okay. So what we can do? We just have to do very small changes. Okay, very small. It's like we have to take another variable of node type, which can store the address of a node. We can keep name is temporary variables. We can name is a temp. That will point to head. Okay. So this temp will all it will also have address one. So temp will be equal to address one. Okay. Now we'll just do like this. Temp is equal to temp dot next. Okay. So now your temp will move forward. Your head will remain on that first node. Okay. So using your temp, you can write here temp dot data. Okay. Clear, everyone? Good. And we can use here while loop also, right? You guys know those things. I don't need to tell it. So what if you want to use a while loop here? Okay, you will do it using while loop. So let's assume you have a linked list of 100 variables. Okay, and head, there's a variable head which is pointing to the first node of your linked list. You have to print the 50 number node. You have to print. Okay, quickly write a program to print the 50 element. Let's keep it 51 just for the pronunciation sake. So we have to print the 51st node. Can you do this? You have to create a node class. Okay, then you have to write a program in a main function to print the 51st node of your linked list. Quickly do this. I don't want these things. I want you to take 2-3 minutes. Okay, code it and then send me a complete code. Okay, complete code. And it should not be a copy paste code. You have to do it by yourself. I understand. Okay, I don't want you to send me quickly. I want you to take your time, but it should be a error free. Just want to see how much you guys understood. So yeah, and it's very important. Whenever I teach, I want students to send me the codes. So don't send 1 or 2 lines. Okay, it is not needed. Himanshu, everyone, take your time. Take 3 minutes of time. Write a proper code. I will not see who is sending first. I'll see who is sending the proper code. Don't write here, Nasadharika. Write it in your copy or write it in your laptop, and then you copy paste here. Okay, do this. You can use ID even, or you can use LeetCode Playground, whatever you want. You don't have to create linked list. You just create node class, and then you don't have to actually create a linked list, 100 linked list. No, you can assume that you have a linked list with 100 node that's been created using the insert function. You can assume that. Okay. No, Gagan, we don't write int temp is equal to head. Head is of node type, so temp will also be of node type, not int type. Okay. I'm just waiting for anyone who can write it. Question is very clear. You just have to print the 51st node of your linked list. You can assume you have 51 node. You have to print a 51 node. That's it. Good, Nikhil. Good. So yeah, you guys understood it, right? You guys are doing it. So I'll just wait for how many students are sending the solution, because it's not about sending the first solution or who are sending faster. I just need a good solution. So let's wait for 2-3 more minutes so that all of you can send. And I'm also speaking from so much time, my head is spinning. Just I'll wait for 2 minutes. So inserting a node, does anyone have doubt in that, or are you guys understood that? How do we insert a node? Insert a node means if you want to insert each time, we want to insert at the end, at the end we want to insert each time. Let's say we are creating 101 node, it will get added to the last. Manually understood, right? You can't code it. Okay. No worries, I'll code it. So now you know the basics, and it will be very easy for you to understand linked list in future classes. It will be very easy. I tell you, if you know the basic of linked list, it's much easier to understand for the topics. I personally, and what I feel now, when I was in my BTech, I could not understand the linked list properly. So it took me around 6 months to actually understand what it is. I thought I understood it, but no, it was not that. That's why it's very important to understand in the first class only. I felt that yesterday it was not a good class to some issues with the tab and all. So I thought I'll take it again. You guys won't believe, I just woke up in the morning at 7. I came office at 8. And then since 8, I was working it. In next week, we have some programs. Some people are coming from Seattle and US. Our directors are coming from Seattle. So we won't be working next week. So we have to complete our task this week only. So today's Friday, right? So tomorrow and after tomorrow will be holiday. So I was working since morning till 8:45. And then in 10 minutes, I saw what I have to teach and what all those things. And yeah, so I'm really sorry if it is again not a good thing, not a good class, or you guys are not understanding. But I try, I did not have time to prepare for the class. That's what I'm telling. Yeah, good, very one. Rishabh. Very good, guys. Yeah, very good. Very good, Shubham. Abhishek, nice. My name is Ali Neil. Ali. I'll just write my name for all of you. So we are not giving name to any node here. Can you see? Someone asked, who asked this? Anand. We are just giving one name, that is head, right? We are just giving one name, that is head. We have not given name to any other node. Your head will contain the address of first node will contain the address of second node. Similarly, each node will have the address of next node. Okay, so no node will there is no name to any node. Okay, like in array, we have the only one name for whole array, right? That is the name of the array. Here also we just have the name of the first node, nothing else. Clear, guys? I'll share my number also when I feel comfortable. You guys are really understanding and presentable. I'll share my number because I personally believe my duty is just not to teach, and my duty is to make yourself familiar with the concepts which are happening right now. So you guys should not feel a gap should not be there between you and the realities, what's happening in FANG companies or what's happening around you. So my duty is that if you want any suggestion, any personalized suggestion, you can call me. But right now, I won't give my number. I'll just feel when I'm comfortable, I feel you guys won't misuse it. I'll give my number. You guys can tell me what doubt you have. Let's say in my students are messaging me from my previous classes. They have some personal issues. They have this stuff issues. So those I don't want to discuss those things. But yeah, so I try to help them in those issues. Personally, I try to help them. So it's like, yeah, it's not like I'll just teach here, go. No, it's not like that. I love to create bond with students, No, Ria, I won't be your teacher from now on. I love to teach module 3 and 4 if they give me. Right now, I'm not interested in module 2 or 1. I don't have time also. I'm really sorry. It's just like so much work right now. I don't have Discord ID, Abhishek. So yeah, all of you have written the code. Pupukar, Astha, everyone. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, let's see how we can insert a note at the end of a linked list. So do you want me to tell that, or do you guys know how we can store the how we can store a node one by one at the end of the linked list? You guys know that, or should I tell it? Tell. Okay. I tell it now. Okay. यार बहुत कमजोर मैं क्या बताने वाला था अभी हाँ इंसर्ट कैसे करते हैं भूल जाता हूँ बहुत जल्दी सॉरी Okay, so I'll tell you how we can insert node at the end of a linked list always. Okay, I'll show you basically first I'll show you by manually and then I'll code it. Okay, I'll want you guys code it, but I'll try to explain the concept so that you guys can code it. But if I feel I need to code also, I'll code it also. Okay, so just watch here what I'm doing. So let's say we have our head pointing to null. What does that mean? That means your linked list is empty. You don't have any node, right? Yeah, it's empty. Now what do we do here? We want to create our first node. So we can create like this, right? Using that name, right? Class name, object name is equal to new class name. That will create this first node. It will have some value, some address and some value, let's say 100. First node contain hundreds. So your head should point to first node, isn't it? Agree with me, guys? So your head will be point to first node. So your head will contain what? It will not contain null. It will contain address 1. Clear? Okay, now when you are creating your first node, you have to change head also. Okay, because when your head is pointing to null, that means you don't have any node. So when you are creating your first node, your head will point to that node. So in the first time when you are creating the first node, you have to change 2 pointers. Okay, this you have to create a node and also your head should point to that node. This will only happen with first node. It will not happen after this. Got it, guys? Now let's get our second node. So it is pointing null here, right? Currently it is null here. One second. Currently it is null here, right? When we are creating a second node, let's say here value is 20. Address is 2, right? Right? So this address 2 should be stored here, right? But how will we know the second node we have created? It should the first node should store the second node address. How should we know? We have to tell our program, right? this is a node which we have to add at the end. Okay, so we'll have to reach here. Use our head, we have to reach here. When you reach here, then you see it is pointed to null. That means this is the last node currently. The last node will point to null always, right? The last node will always point to null, is it? So we know this is our last node, it is pointed to null. But we want to add one more node after this node, we want to add one more node, which we have already created. And the address of that node is address 2. So we just have to add here address 2. Okay, address 2. So this will actually add this node at the end. Okay, and this node will have null at the end. So you have added 2 nodes now. Clear, guys? No need to send programs now. Is it clear how we're adding this node after this? So now we have 2 nodes. Let's add one more node. So for adding one more node, we will write like this, right? Node. We can name it as new node is equal to new node. Let's say value here is 10. So what this line will do? This line will create a node like this, right? With value 10 and value null, address null. This will do this, right? But we have to add this node which we have created at the end of the linked list. So currently this is the end, right? We want to add this node after this. Clear, guys? Is it clear? How can we add this node after this? So we are at head, right? First of all, we have to reach at this node. Then only we can add the address of this node. Let's say the address of this node is address 3. Then only we can add the address of third node in second node, right? First of all, we have to reach here. How can we reach here? Should we move our head forward? Should we run a loop and move our head forward? No, right? Because we don't want to lose our head. We have to use a temporary variable. So what we can do here? We can do just like this. Node temp is equal to head, and then while, so this temp is pointing to the first node. How do we know our temp have reached to the last node? Because we have to add this node after the last node, right? So last node will have null, right? So while temp dot next is not equal to null, so this temp is pointing to first node. It will, first node connects will never be equal to null, but the last node connects will be equal to null. So while this condition is true, we have to move our temp forward. But as soon as this condition is false, that means our temp dot next is equal to null. That means we are on the last node, right? So we have to just move forward. Temp is equal to temp dot next. So what happens? Our temp was pointing here, right? So is temp dot next is not equal to null? Yes, it is not equal to null. It is equal to address 2, right? So our temp will move forward. Temp is equal to temp dot next. So now our temp will point here. So our head is at first node only, but our temp have moved forward. Now temp dot next is not equal to null. This is false. Why? Because temp dot next is null, right? So this condition is false now. Okay. So this condition will false will only when this condition will be false. Can anyone tell me? For which node this condition will be false? Last node. Very good. Jyoti and all. Good. For the last node, the next pointer will be equal to null. So this condition will be false. So we know our temp is at last node. So whatever node we have just now created, we have to add after temp. So what we'll do? We'll do temp dot next is equal to address 3. Sorry. The name of this node is new node. Got it? So it will add the address 3 here. Clear? So we have created 3 nodes. Okay. So when we'll create the 4th node, it will do the same thing. It will do what? It will create a 4th node like this. First of all, let's say we give here value as 1000. It will be null. Okay. And then our temp will point to head. So temp will start from where? It will start from here. And then it will move forward. So temp will point here. And then it will move forward. It will point here. So then condition will be false now because temp connect is not equal to null is false. Then we'll add this address 4 here. Clear, everyone? Can you guys code this one? Quickly code this one. Okay, then we'll move to some complicated questions. We'll try to add a node in the beginning. We'll try to do all those stuff. Quickly code this one. I don't want to code this one. I think you guys can code it. I've already yesterday coded this one. Code this one quickly. Let me know if you have any doubt. So you have to make sure when you are adding the first node, then only you have to change your head, because your head will be pointed to null when you are creating your first node. After that, like you can do it. Okay, I'll share my screen. I'll do it for you guys so that you guys don't have any issues and all. Anyone want me to code it? Let me know. Anyone wants me to code it, or you guys don't need it? This insertion, let's say you want to insert new nodes in our linked list. So anyone want to code it? Okay, so many wants you to code it. Okay, I'll just quickly code it. Okay. So we did it yesterday. I don't think we did it. Let's carry on here only. Okay. No, I don't think this is ours. Let's do it from fresh. Okay. Let's do it from fresh. Okay. So you don't know how to take input path. Why don't you know yet? You should know these things, right? Why don't you know how to take input from user? Any specific reason? Did you miss the class? Okay. First of all, in linked list, it will be the same thing, bro. Don't worry. Linked list is nothing. If you know the basic, taking input and all is same like we did for others. It's not something new. All things are same. You will understand it. You will feel. You will. And I'll tell you how to take inputs in English. You will see, अरे यार तो वही चीज़ है क्या ये तो बताने की जरूरत भी नहीं थी. Like this will fail. So don't worry. That is just a one word answer. I'll tell you when I'll show you. So first of all, we have to create a structure. So it will contain a data part, and then it will contain a node part, next part, and then what it will be. Then we can keep it int val. Okay, then what we can do, we can write data is equal to val, and then next will be null by default. Any doubt up to here, guys? I don't think we will be done. Initially our head will be equal to null, right? Then what we do here, we have to create a function that will actually add node at the end. Okay, insert at end. We can name it insert add end. So every time what we have to pass the value, and we have to pass the head address, because if we don't know the headers of the head, how will it know which is the first node, which is the second node, right? So we should always pass the headers of net. So yeah, first node ka address we have to pass, then only it can iterate after that, right? Now yeah, that's it. Now let's make that function. So it will be a static function because it's inside a main class. Static void, it won't be a void, it will be returning a node, so it will be a node class function, and the name of the function is main, and we are passing here head, and then we are passing here data. Data means we will create our node with this value 10. Okay, got it? Why use 10? We can give anything here, whatever value you want to insert inside your first node, you can write here. Okay, let's say we want to create our first node with 100 value. Okay, I'll tell you, Vibhuti, why we're assigning the function value to head. So right now our head is null, but when we will create the first node, our head will change, right? So we want that head, right? Our new head, we want it. So whatever this function will return, that will be our new head. Okay, got it? Everyone got it? Yeah. Now let's create a, where are we? Let's create a new node with this value. So how do we create a new node with this value? Node Okay, thank you. Node, new node is equal to with value what? With value data. Okay, it will create a new node, right? Any doubt in this line? Anyone? No, right? So we can do this. Now what we have to do? Let me see. How can I tell you about this? Okay. जब नेक्स्ट बाय डिफॉल्ट है तो हेड को नल क्यों करना है? हेड नल क्यों करना है? बिकॉज अभी तक हमारे पास कोई नोड नहीं ना. आवर हेड विल पॉइंट टू नल. ओके, that's the basic thing. Otherwise, how will you know कि your linked list is empty? If your head is null, that means your linked list is empty. You don't have any node. Okay, so now we have created our first node. So how do we know it is our first node? Anyone have any idea? How do we know? How we need to check, right? If it is our first node, we have to change the head. For the first node, we have to change the head. Otherwise, we don't have to touch the head, right? Everyone agree with me? Only for the first node, we have to change the head. So Shubham Kumar told me if head is equal to null, that will tell us that this is our first node, right? Yeah, very good, guys. Good name, everyone. So if your head is equal to null, that means this is your first node. And we have to handle this corner case because for the first node, your head will change. So what will happen? You can do like this. Your head will be equal to new node, right? And then you can return your head here from here. Okay, guys, this you can do. Or you can return new node also. Good, Shivan. That way also you can do. Okay, this is what it is doing. It is checking if this is your first node. That means you have zero node in your linked list, so your head will be null. So in this case, this first node will be your head. So head is equal to new node, and then we are turning head. Got it, guys? Cool. Now what we have to do after this? If it is not your first node, then we have to go to the last node. We have to loop through it. Okay. And then we have to work it. I'll open the video also so that you guys see in the background. Okay, these things. So if it is not your first node, then we have to go to the last node and then add this new node after the last node, right, guys? So how do we do this? What I'm doing. So your temp will point to head, and then while temp.next is not equal to null, that means we are not at the last node, we can move forward. So temp can be equal to, right? So we are moving forward one by one, right? Now what we do, when this while loop will end, your temp will point to the last node. Clear, guys? So when we are at the last node, we just have to do temp dot next is equal to new node. Clear? And do we have to return anything? Yeah, we have to return our head. Okay, so it will be same thing. Whatever we put here, it will be returning the same thing. Only it will change in the case of the first node. Okay, guys? Anyone have any doubt up to here? Anyone? Good. So similarly, we can add to how many nodes we want. Right? We can give any name, any number here. Okay, this way it will create a node. Okay. Can you see it's working fine? It's working fine, absolutely fine. Let's say we want to write a function that will tell you the length of the linked list. What is the length of this linked list? The length of this linked list is currently, I'll use headphone here, okay, because I'm sitting here, I had to shout. Can you guys write a code which will help you to tell the length of this linked list? The length of this linked list is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 elements, right? So quickly write a code which will tell you the length of the linked list. Quickly write it, okay? Take your time, take 2 minutes of time and then write it. Line 12 is what? When we have our temp pointed to the last node, we want to add this node after last node, right? So temp dot next will be the last node. So address of last node, our new node which we have created, will be stored inside our last node. Okay, got it? That's what it is happening in line number 12. No, Misbah. It will not. It will print one less. Let's say the length of your linked list is 2, so it will print 1. Okay, so you have to remove dot next from the while loop condition. नहीं, head dot next नहीं दे सकते आप. कहाँ पे? लाइन नंबर वेयर? लाइन नंबर 4. नहीं 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 नहीं, हेड डॉट नेक्स्ट इज दैट मीन, अगर हेड डॉट नेक्स्ट नल है इसका मतलब क्या हुआ गाइस? क्या बता सकता है? इफ योर हेड डॉट नेक्स्ट इज नल, व्हाट डज दैट मीन? Yes, Manvit. That means we have only one node. Okay. Yeah. Good, Shreya. Good, Deepak. Okay. So I'll just quickly write this one. Okay. I'll just write this one. We are writing a function to, like, should I write it or everyone got it? Do I need to write it or not? Do it. Okay. I'll just do it. So we're writing a function that will actually find the length of the linked list. We'll pass here head. It will help us to print the length of the linked list. Okay. We can write it size. Now size is more relevant name. If you have doubt in any line, you can tell me. Okay, I'll write quickly. यार टाइप करने मजा नहीं आ रहा आज. We can keep it count. Na? Count is a better name. So naming convention is very important. You should never give, uh, A, B, C, D values. Never give such values for data type. Always think about the name and then give it. Okay, you should always think. You should always give time to think of a proper name for a data type. Okay, for a variable. It's a good thing. Okay, so let's say if we are writing this. We have to pass here head. Okay, so what it should print? It should print something like 7, right? So we have 7 element. That's why it is printing 7, right? Yes, Neil. It helps you. It helps you also to understand other person's code, and it helps other persons to understand your code also. Any doubt here, guys? Anyone have any doubt in this size function? No. Let's say you want to write a function to print a linked list. Okay. I'll just quickly do this. I think I already told it, but I'll quickly do this. Static It will be a void function because it won't be doing anything. Any doubt, anyone? Yeah, thank you. Let's say we call the print function. And we also don't need to print size here, right? We should not do this. We just need to call the size function. Okay, size function with head. It should do it internally. We don't want to do it, right? Like this should do. It looks more sense. We want to keep everything in our function. We don't want to write anything in node. Okay. Now if we write a print function, it should print the node. Let's see how it works. So it's easy to working. Yeah, it is printing, right? It's just that after printing the size, it should print ln. Okay. Can you see we are able to show the size also, and then we're able to show the each node, right? Do you want to print the arrows also? If you want, I can do that. Okay, I'll do it. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll print the arrows also. Like this, okay? But it is printing for the last node also. But for the last node, it should not print the arrow, right? So what should we do here? Let's write a code. Yeah, let's see how you do it. Do you want to try how we can? We want to print the arrow for all the elements, but for the last element, this row, this arrow we don't want to print. Can you help me with this? Okay, I don't want to waste time. I'll just quickly do this. I know you guys can do it. I know it's no offhand. Okay, I know you guys can do it, but it's just that we have less time because so much time went into telling the basics. So I'll do it. Okay. So for all these elements, temp.next will not be equal to null, right? So we can write here temp.next. If it is not equal to null, then we write it. Okay. Otherwise, what we do? If your temp.next is null, that means it is the last node. Okay. Then we don't want to print this. Okay. Clear? So this will not print the last arrow. Got my point, guys? Okay. Now you have important functions. So I should name this as what is module. Okay. Now one more question I have for you guys. Can you make the same function, this insert wala function, as insert add, head is equal to insert add front? Can you do this? Anyone? We'll be passing head here and we'll be passing data here. Let's say we're passing 500. So we want to add this 500 in the front. So your linked list will start with 500 now. Can you do it, guys? Can you add this node at the front? So you have to, yeah, it is easier than adding at the last, but you have to make sure every time you're adding a node at the front, your head will point to that node, right? Your head will change. Okay. So this is the trick here. It's actually easier and it will take only order of one time to add a node at the front, which is not in array. In array, it will take order of n time to add a node in the front. But here in linked list, it will take order of one time. Only your head node will change. Okay. Got it, guys? Can you do it or should I tell you? Okay, I'll just quickly give you a hint and you will do it. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, let's say our head is pointing to null. Okay. This means we don't have any node in our linked list, right? Clear? Now we want to add our first node and that will get added to the front. So when we have our linked list as empty, then it doesn't matter where we add, where we add it end or at the front, it will be added to the front only, right? Because we don't have any nodes. So we have to create one node like this. Wait. So we have to create one node like this. Let's say we give value here as 100 and our head will point here, right? Our head will point to this node, right guys? This is what we'll do. We'll create one node and then we'll make our head is equal to that node, right? It will be having null as values. Are you guys not able to see? Wait, let me see what happened. Is it visible now? Okay. So initially our head was null. Then we created one node. Then our head will point to that node, right? This is our first node now. Okay. So it is same as we did in the insert at last wala. It will be same like that. Now we're adding one more node. So we have to add one more node, right? So it will be added before this, right? Okay. So we will give the value. We will create this node first of all using that node class, node object name is equal to new node. We will create this. Now we have to make this as head, right? Because it will be added at the front. Here we go. We have this linked list. We have to add this node before this, right? At the beginning of the linked list. How can we do this? It should contain it should contain the address of the first node. First of all, we'll change this pointer. So we have to put the address of this node inside this node, right? Clear or not? Then only this will be your first node, right? Because if it is your first node, then your first node will become second node, right? So if you want to make this a second node, you will store the address of this node in the first node which you have just now created. So let's say the address of this is in head. So head will have the address of this first node, right? So you will just write here. Let's say you have created the name of this node is new node, right? Node. So you have created a new node with value 200. Now this new node is created and you want to add it at the front. So what you will do, you will make this as first node and this first node will contain the address of second node, which is your head. So new node dot next will have head. So head, let's say the address of this is 500, right? So head was pointing to 500, right? Now this 500 will be stored here. So what does that mean? That means this is your first node and first node is pointing to this node, right? So this became your second node. Got it, guys? Is it clear up to here? Now you want to change your head from here to here, right? Because this is your first node. This is not your first node now. So you have to change your head from here to here. How will you do this? You just had to write one line. Head is equal to new node. Good. So all of you are writing, I can see all of you writing good answers. but this is not your test. I will take your test when I'm done teaching. Right now, I appreciate you guys are active in the class. I appreciate that. But you don't worry. You don't think uh, I'm not actually seeing this, what you guys are ready. I'm actually seeing. Don't worry. Okay. But I'll be very much attentive when I'll ask something. Okay. So this is your head. This line, what will do? Let's say the address of this is 100. Okay. So now your head will be equal to 100. So now your head will point to this node. Okay. So your head is pointing this node and this node is pointing to second node. So you have successfully added a new node at the front, right? Is it okay? Now let's say we want to add one more node. Let's say we want to add a node with value 500. So it will first of all create a node with value 500, right? And then what it will do? This will be your first node. So this first node connects should point to second node. So what is that of second node? Second node address is 100, right? So you want to store this 100 in the first node connects. How do we know it is 100? Because head is pointing here, right? So we just have to write here, new node connects is equal to head. So this will do what? This will store head in new node connects. So new node connects is what? New node is 500. So new node connects will have head. Got it? So this is in turn pointing to this node. Now we just had to change the head. So head is equal to new node. So only these two lines will help you here. Okay. It's a 2-line code. That's it. Okay. So you can just write here like this. Head is equal to new node. So your head will point to new node. That's it. Okay. Clear? Let's say new node address is 101. So your head will have 101. It's very easy, right? Anyone have any doubt? I'll be surprised if anyone is still left out. But let's see if anyone has doubt. I will be happy to teach again in this one. So do you want to code this? Or should I code it for you? I'll code it. Okay, I'll code it. I'll code it and I'll give you a small assignment to solve and then. Yeah, yeah, we have already coded it. I'll give you one assignment that you will code. Okay. So we have to write a function that will add in the beginning. So write a node. Sorry. First, you have to create a new node. Okay. Got it? These two lines will help us. We have to return head or new node. Anything we can return. Both are same thing. So after these two lines, head is and new node both are having the same value. So we can return anything, whatever we want. So you might be thinking now that we have not handled the corner cases because we don't need to handle it. It will be handled automatically, right? Front की spelling गलत है क्या? Thank you. Understand spelling को मत जाओ इतना वो कंपाइल करेंगे तो एरर आ जाएगा, स्पेलिंग सही हो जाएगी. लॉजिक समझ में आया? लिंक लिस्ट ऑलरेडी एम्प्टी तो क्या होगा बताओ? अगर लिंक लिस्ट ऑलरेडी एम्प्टी है तो क्या होगा? सी हियर. See what I am showing. Yeah. अगर लिंक लिस्ट एम्प्टी है so line number 16 से क्या होगा? Head is null right now, right? Head is null. Linked list empty है ना? Head का null का मतलब linked list empty है. तो line number 16 क्या करेगी? New node बना देगी. एक new node बना देगी. Whatever value we pass. Let's say we pass 100 here, okay? We pass 100, we create a new node. Now what will happen? On line number 17, new node का next will have the address of head. So new node का next is this one, right? It will be equal to head. So head is null, so null will be stored here. Which is it is already storing null. It will again store null. So nothing will change, okay? It will be same thing. Okay? Got it? Now on line number 18, what will happen? Head will be equal to new node. So let's say the address of this one is 501. So now your head will point to 501. Okay. So you successfully have created the first node. So you don't have to like manage it separately. It will be managed by this function only. Unlikely in the insert at end. In that function, you have to manage separately. Okay. Yeah, we have to return this head now because here head was something else. Here head was pointing to 500, but now, sorry, to this value. But now if we are adding at the front, our head will change, right? So we have to return our new head. Our new head is 501. So we have to return that because we need to, yeah. So now let's assume, let's see what it is having. Let's see, we're adding 500, right? So initially we're adding like this. Let's say 500 is getting added to the front node. So can you see 500 got added to the front? Can you see, guys? If you are printing the list, our size also changed to 8 and we can see the 500 got added to the front, right, guys? So these all numbers were getting added to the last, but this 500 got added to the front. Did you notice it or not? Someone told we have a less time and more topics. So guys, normally I give a lot of time on basics, but once you know the basics, I will be once I feel that everyone knows about linked list, now they can use their mind. So what we'll do if you don't know the basics, right? If you know the basics, if you have the equipment, if you have the resources, you can use your mind. Otherwise, you won't be able to use your mind. This is what I believe. So now if you know the basics, you can do any question you want. I can give you so many a toughest question. So you can use your brain at least because you know the basics, right? Do you agree with me, guys? Yeah, this is the main thing. So if you don't know the basics, so just solving thousands of questions will not help you. Because in interviews, your question will not be exactly the same question which you are seeing here. It will be a bit different. If you know the concepts, then only you can solve it. Okay. Now, you have a question for today. I will give you a question. So you have to write a function. Write a function. So I'll give a easy question. Okay. So you have done two questions on inserting, insert at front, insert at back. Now you have to write insert after a node. Insert after node. Okay. So here you have to give head. Sorry, here you have to get three values. The first value will be the head. Sorry. Node head. And then you have to tell the value after which you have to insert. Let's say you want to insert after 200. So you have to give value here as int after name or any name you can write. And then you have to give the real value data, which you have to create a new node. So let's say you pass here head. Okay. And then here you pass 200. And there here you pass, let's say 50. So it will first of all create a new node with 50. Okay. It will create a new node with 50 value. And we have to add this node after 200. After 200. So this 200 connects will point here. And 50 connects will point to this one. Okay. So it will be added between them. So our linked list will look like this. Let's say the address of this is 1000. Okay. So address of 50 will be stored here in 200. 1000. Okay. That means it is pointing here. And in 50 will have the address of 500, which is the next node. Okay. That means we have 4 nodes, first node, second node, third node, fourth node, right, guys? So we have to give the value after which we have to add. Okay. Easy, right? Easy peasy. Someone is saying. Okay, let's see. So you have to handle corner cases here. Okay, corner cases. So first case is normal case where you have to add middle after this. But let's say you have to add after 100 here. So in this case, we have to add after 100, which will be the last node, right? So it will be the same case as adding at the last. Okay. This is first off with the normal case. where you have to insert in the middle. Second case is add after and add after last. Right. Third case is if your number is not found. Number not found. This also you have to manage. Okay. So these three conditions you have to manage. If you cannot find a number, you will not add the node. Okay. You don't need to add the node. Okay. After means it will be any values. Let's say that between 500, between 500, 200 or 100. It can be any value. So whatever linked list is there now, it will be this after will contain the value. Okay. Or we can keep it as node value. Int node value. After this node, you have to add that node. Okay. That's okay, right? You understand the question. I think it's not a very tough question to understand. So here you will give head, you will give the value after which you need to add the new node, and you will give the data part of the new node. So you have to first of all create the new node. First you will create the new node with this data part, and then you will have to add after this value. So here we give here 200. So after 200 we added 50 because we have to create a node with 50. Then we after 200 we have to add. Okay. If you have doubt in this question, or if you want to use your mind, you can try to solve right now also. I will see how many of you can do this. Okay. Let me wear my headphone. I just need a coffee right now, but my head is blast. So yeah, how many of you have doubt in this? Let me open the mic. अभी किसी को डाउट है, बेसिक डाउट, अच्छा डाउट तो पूछ सकता है लिंक लिस्ट में. कुछ भी फालतू क्वेश्चन मत पूछना, वरना माइक नहीं ओपन करूंगा अगली बार से. अच्छा क्वेश्चन है किसी को अगर तो पूछ सकता है.
हेलो सर, एम आई ऑडिबल?
या यू आर ऑडिबल.
सर नौशाद, एग्जैक्टली मेरा एक डाउट है सर. जैसे हम एरे में यूजर इनपुट लेते हैं ना, वैसे क्या हम लिंक लिस्ट में ले सकते हैं? जैसे हमने रैंडमली मैनुअली लिया था लिंक लिस्ट में हेड का एड्रेस और डेटा वैल्यू इनपुट करके, वैसे ही सर लिंक लिस्ट में ले सकते हैं क्या? कोई ऑप्शन है अपने पास?
तुमको क्या करना पड़ेगा, लेट्स से तुमको 100 नोड की लिंक लिस्ट बनानी है. ठीक है, 100 नोड की लिंक लिस्ट. ओके. तो एक मिनट, मैं सबका क्वेश्चन ये तो मैं लेट्स से आपको 100 नोड्स की लिंक लिस्ट बनानी है. सो आप पहले वैल्यू ले लो कितने नोड की लिंक लिस्ट बनानी है. तो लेट्स से यूजर ने 100 एंटर किया, तो आपका n में 100 स्टोर हो जाएगा. ये तो आप कर लोगे ना, 100 वैल्यू यूजर से ले लोगे. देन आप क्या करोगे, एक लूप चलाओगे, i is equal to 0, i less than 100, i plus plus. ये 100 बार वैल्यू यूजर से मांगेगा. लेट्स से आपने पहली वैल्यू यूजर से आई int वैल्यू इज इक्वल टू sc डॉट नेक्स्ट int. ये आप बना लेते हो ना, sc डॉट नेक्स्ट int स्कैनर क्लास.
हाँ बिल्कुल बना लेते हैं.
अब आप इंसर्ट फंक्शन कॉल कर दीजिए विद दिस वैल्यू. ओके. सो ये दो लाइन में आपका बन जाएगा, 100 नोड बन जाएंगे. आपको ऊपर स्लैश करना है हेड इज इक्वल टू नल. ओके. और आपको इंसर्ट में हेड भी पास करना है. दैट्स इट. सो बार बार ये वैल्यू कॉल करेगा हेड के साथ, बार बार न्यू नोड लास्ट में ऐड होता रहेगा. ठीक है. इंसर्ट एट एंड, इंसर्ट एट फ्रंट, जो भी आप कॉल करोगे वो फंक्शन में ऐड कर देगा.
सर अब अभी आपने इससे प्रीवियसली क्वेश्चन पूछा था, तो मैंने उसका सॉल्यूशन में पता है क्या करा था, मैंने ना डेटा के लिए एक अलग एरे बना लिया था. ठीक है,
क्लियर हो गया आपको?
हाँ ये चीज क्लियर हो गई.
किसी और को डाउट है इसमें? किसी को डाउट नहीं इसमें? चलो हाँ, आप बताइए क्या बोल रहे हैं.
हाँ सर, मैं ये बोल रहा था प्रीवियसली अभी हम एक क्वेश्चन कर रहे थे जो आपने आस्क करा था क्लास में, तो उसमें मैंने जनरली क्या करा था, डेटा इनपुट के लिए ना सर एरे ले लिया था. ठीक है, एरे ऑफ आई ले लिया था. उसके बाद सर मैं उसको असाइन कर दे रहा था जनरली वैल्यू के जगह पे. तो ऐसे करके नहीं कर सकते क्या? डेटा के लिए हम अलग एरे बना लें और हेड्स को चलने दें एज लाइक लिंक लिस्ट.
नहीं कर सकते वैसे, बट इतना टेंशन क्यों ले रहे हो यार, कंसेप्ट समझो थोड़ा बहुत, बेसिकली इतना डीप में मत जाओ, तुमसे कोई इनपुट नहीं बोलेगा इंटरव्यू में कि इनपुट लेके दिखाओ। डोंट वरी, तुम तो समझ जाओ बस कैसे होता है, बेसिक्स आने चाहिए बस, जिससे कि कोई इशू ना हो आगे। एम आई फॉरगेटिंग एनीथिंग? नो। और बताओ, किसी को कोई डाउट, किसी को डाउट किसी और चीज से रिलेटेड, एनीथिंग यू वांट टू शेयर?
हेलो।
या
अली नवाज सर, वो डिस्कॉर्ड आईडी सेट कर दीजिए अपनी।
yeah, he's my friend. Kambar is my good friend. So yeah, I've been with him. Yeah, Kambar. So Kambar, did you got the like everything in the class? Is there any issues? Any feedback you want to give?
डिस्कॉर्ड आईडी दे दीजिएगा बस।
डिस्कॉर्ड मेरे आईडी है नहीं, मैं बनाऊंगा, आई डोंट नो, आई थिंक उत्कर्ष बनाएगा तो मैं उनसे मांग के दे दूंगा आपको।
ठीक है,
अभी सुनिए,
ठीक है
सर लिंक्डइन आईडी से।
सर लिंक्डइन आईडी,
ओके, लिंक्डइन आईडी चाहिए
लिंक्डइन
क्या?
आईडी मैं शेयर कर दूंगा।
अच्छा, तो किसी के पास है वो ऑलरेडी शेयर कर देगा। वर्क लैपटॉप में मैं लिंक्डइन खोलता नहीं हूँ एक्चुअली, इसलिए अच्छा थिंग।
सर मैंने ना मैंने डीएम करा है सर आपको लिंक्डइन में, प्लीज वो आप देख लेना।
ओके ठीक है, लिंक्डइन थोड़ा सा मैं कम खोलता हूँ, आई ट्राई टू एंटर।
प्लीज।
तो सर आपकी कल भी क्लास हो गई क्या भैया? खत्म हो गई बस?
नहीं यार, अभी मेरे पास मतलब वो कल तो 2 क्लास मुझसे रिक्वेस्ट किया था उत्कर्ष से, तो मैं फ्री था, मैंने ले लिया। अभी तो इधर फ्री नहीं, 1-2 हफ्ता, उसके बाद अगर फ्री रहेंगे तो ले लेंगे, बट वो मॉड्यूल 3 की लेंगे या मॉड्यूल 4 की?
सर मॉड्यूल 3 और 4 दोनों पढ़ा दीजिएगा सर आप।
यार देखो, अभी तो बिल्कुल टाइम नहीं, अगर होता है टाइम तो मैं जरूर लूंगा। आई लव, मतलब मुझे टीचिंग अच्छी लगती है, सो आई विल ट्राई कि मैं ले सकूं।
ठीक है सर।
जनरली क्या था सर, पूरा समझ में आ गया टॉपिक, मतलब थ्योरी कल मुझे थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम थी, बट आज क्लियर हो गया।
लेट्स सी क्या होता
तब मेरी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल और लॉजिक बिल्डिंग स्किल उतनी इम्प्रूव नहीं हो रही है सर।
फिर सर गए लिफ्ट में।
है, the code for this thing, let me know.
सर मेरी लॉजिक बिल्डिंग स्किल और प्रोग्रामिंग प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग स्किल बिल्ड नहीं हो रही है सर, इम्प्रूव नहीं हो रही है।
You will understand it slowly. You won't get it in one day. थोड़ा patience के साथ you have to code every day. Slowly you will understand more, and then you will be able to get it. Okay, so अभी it's not like very जल्दी हो सकता है. It will take time. Okay, so you'll have to bit like no patience के साथ आपको code करना।
हेलो।
या बताइए।
Sir, what do you think is the future of coding for non-tech students that are coming from different backgrounds?
They have done the best choice of their life, because it will be all about coding after some years. So those who don't know any language will not get job in any sector. So yeah, it's going to be like everything will be about coding. So like we are talking in English and Hindi, people will talk in programming in like not in far away time, it will be just in 4 or 5 years.
So basically, joining coding is a good thing for now, no?
Of course, without any doubt.
And jobs also will be there in the coming days more and more. It's not
A
less.
lot of job. See what I'm saying right now कि अभी 1 साल के बाद रिसेशन आएगा, because कोविड में बहुत हायरिंग हुई है। रिसेशन का मतलब ये होता है कि बड़ी कंपनीज जो है ना, जिन्होंने बहुत हायर किए हैं, वो रुक जाएंगे उस टाइम के लिए। बट इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि जॉब रुक जाएगी, नहीं, जॉब और आएगी, अलग चीजों में आएगी। फिर वापस से 6 महीने 1 साल बाद वापस से जॉब स्टार्ट होगी तेजी से। तो अभी आप लोग मेहनत कर लो, जल्दी से जॉब ले लो, 1-2 साल बाद थोड़ी दिक्कत होगी।
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Can we apply in Amazon after a BCA, sir?
Of course you can apply. As far as I know, I'm not sure about it. You can read it in the like when you see a job, you get a link, right? You can read about the requirements of the job. There they will tell you what is your requirement. They maybe someone asking in computer science में BTech होना चाहिए.
अली नवाज सर
Yeah, बताइए.
समर बोल रहे हैं,
Sorry.
कंबर बात कर रहा हूँ.
हाँ कमल बताओ.
तो बोला कि जॉब फ्रंट एंड में अच्छी है या बैक एंड में?
Everything is fine. It's up to your interest. आपको जो पसंद है उस इंटरेस्ट के हिसाब से होना चाहिए. मेरे हिसाब से तो यार मतलब ठीक है, इट्स ओके. आप पे डिपेंड करता है.
मतलब बैक एंड ठीक है या फ्रंट एंड आपके हिसाब से?
मेरे हिसाब से यार देखो तुम्हारे इंटरेस्ट पे डिपेंड करता है. अगर तुमको ज्यादा मेहनत करनी है, ज्यादा पैसे कमाने हैं, तो टफ रहेगा काम, थोड़ा सा टफ
Backend.
रहेगा, तो आप बैकएंड सीखो. अगर आपको लेकिन बहुत टफ पड़ेगा. अगर आपको इजी मनी कमाना है, आजकल क्या हो गया है ना, लोग बैकएंड नहीं भाग रहे हैं, फ्रंट एंड में कोई जा ही नहीं रहा है. तो फ्रंट एंड वालों को पैसा भी ज्यादा मिल रहा है और फ्रंट एंड वालों को स्कोप भी ज्यादा मिल रहा है. इट्स लाइक दैट.
Sir, what's your role in Amazon?
सॉरी, my
What?
role.
Yeah.
I am a software developer engineer at Amazon.
Okay, I know, sir, but what are
Acha,
you
acha.
doing in real life, sir?
Okay, that I'm not trying to tell you. And being in office, it's just not a good question for me right now to answer. So don't take my interview right now. Okay, guys. So you guys enjoy, and let's see. We will meet next time in the future. I'll hope for it. ठीक है. चलो, you guys take care, and yeah, all the best.
Thank you, sir. It was a
Thanks,
great
sir.
session.
Good night.
Good night. Thank
Can
you.
we get placement in third year? BTech third year.
Placement you can't get. You get an internship. You can get in good companies, but you can't get placed for full-time employee.
In fourth
Pointer
year
criteria in
starting.
Amazon, sir.
Sorry.
Pointer criteria in Amazon. Do they ask any pointer? Is there any limitation?
They are just they'll just ask about DSA, nothing else. It's all about DSA in Amazon, nothing else. Okay, I'll just go and have some food.
Okay.
Take care,
thank
guys.
you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Good
Good
night.
night, sir. Sir, please check my